What's one thing you were convinced of but couldn't prove to anyone? My coworker knew details about my life that I never told him. I've always been a private person. Growing up with nosy parents made me value my space, my secrets, my quiet moments alone. That's why I chose an apartment on the top floor, corner unit, no shared walls. It started with small things, comments that seemed innocent but felt off. That pasta you made last night looked amazing, Ben from IT said one morning, catching me at the coffee machine. I laughed it off, assuming he meant the leftover lunch I'd heated up yesterday. But then it got specific. You should try adding pine nuts to that spinach salad, he suggested a week later. I mean, the cranberries are good, but pine nuts would really elevate it. I'd made that exact salad at home the night before. Never brought it to work, never posted about it, never mentioned it to anyone. My skin crawled, but I told myself I was being paranoid. Maybe I'd mentioned it and forgot. Maybe it was just a weird coincidence. Then came the comment about my Netflix habits. The third episode of that documentary gets better, Ben said during a team meeting break. I know you fell asleep during the second one, but trust me, push through. I had fallen asleep on my couch in my locked apartment at exactly the timestamp he somehow knew. That's when I started paying attention. Ben knew when I'd rearranged my living room furniture. He casually mentioned my new shower curtain before I'd told anyone I'd bought one. He even knew I'd been practicing guitar at night, commenting on how much better my chord transitions were getting. I checked everything, changed my locks, scanned for cameras, updated all my passwords, installed new security systems, nothing. My apartment was clean, but Ben kept knowing things. Rough night? He'd ask on mornings after I'd had insomnia. That tea you tried probably had too much caffeine. He was right. I had tried a new tea. And there was absolutely zero way of anyone knowing that. I started testing him, deliberately doing random things to see if he'd mention them. Danced alone in my kitchen. He hummed the same song the next day. Tried on an old dress I'd never worn outside. He complimented that exact color on me. Read a book in my bedroom. He recommended the sequel, but I wasn't crazy. Ben was somehow watching me. I just couldn't prove how. I started spending nights at my sister's place lying to everyone about why. But even there, Ben knew. Hotel beds are never as comfortable as home, right? He said. Even though I'd told everyone I was staying with family, that's when I knew I had to do something drastic. I hired a private investigator, told him everything, expecting him to think I was paranoid, but he took me seriously. Stalking through technology is more common than you'd think, he said. Let me sweep everything. What he found changed everything. It wasn't cameras. It wasn't hacking. It was something so much worse. My landlord's son worked for a smart home company, the one that had installed energy-efficient improvements in all units 6 months ago. Thermostats, smoke detectors, carbon monoxide monitors, all standard stuff we'd barely noticed. Except they weren't standard. Each device had been modified with tiny cameras and microphones, illegal surveillance equipment that connected to a private server. The landlord's son had been selling access to tenant feeds. Reality show without consent, the investigator called it. Dozens of people were watching us, living our lives like we were content creators who didn't know we were performing. But here's the twist that still makes me nauseous. Ben wasn't one of the paying viewers. Ben was another victim. Someone watching his feed had noticed he worked with me. They'd been feeding him information about my life through anonymous emails, pretending to be a concerned friend who wanted him to check on me, manipulating him into revealing what they knew, making him their unwitting accomplice. He thought he was helping, thought someone who cared about me was worried but wanted to stay anonymous. Every comment was him trying to subtly let me know someone was looking out for me. The investigator told me something that haunts me. Based on the view counts, at least 30 people watched you regularly. We only identified 12. That means 18 people who watched me sleep, eat, live are still out there. Maybe more. They shared the feeds.